Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including four-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a four-time champion of the NASCAR Pekin Freeze iRacing Series.
Three-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a three-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare two laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Howdy, everybody, and welcome to the iRacing Formula 3.5 Championship here at Silverstone. I'm Austin Knight. I'm joined by Jessica Ball with Marco Barbonera in the commentary and production booth, and you're here live watching Apex Racing TV.
Super excited for this one, Austin. We are at the home of British Motorsport, which has been racing since 1915. It's been known for being the first ever race in Formula 1. So much history, so much heritage as well, and so many iconic corners such as Club Abbey. Obviously, we got the Maggots and Begets section, Cops Corner, and also heading into Stowe as well, where we can see a lot of overtaking opportunities as well. It is a fan favourite and it is a driver favourite as well, so it'll be interesting to see how the drivers will cope with the challenges here tonight.
Yeah, a few drivers love this track, and a few drivers absolutely despise this track in the Formula 3.5 community. It's kind of a split decision down the middle, but I do know for a fact that everybody, when we get here, they always give us the best show possible, because it is so much fun just following nose to tail throughout an entire race, and, you know, these battles could go all the way to the end here on iRacing.
Yeah, definitely. And talking of battles, we saw a fantastic battle last week where we were at Twin Win Motegi, where we saw a battle between the likes of Sambrowski and James Pinsker, which went down to the wire. The gap ended up coming to 3/10 of a second, and it was Eddie Sambrowski that came out on top. It was absolutely nice to see the drivers racing with respect as well, and to the championship contenders giving it their all as well and not crashing, which is good news to tell you the truth as well. But we're looking at qualifying right now. We're currently 4 minutes in. Tim Delisle is currently fastest with a 140.8. with Pinsker in second, in third, Greg Olsen in third, and Eddie Sambrowski in fourth position. But they get a couple of laps in, and hopefully the drivers will get acquainted very, very quickly. But Tim Delisle, the early favourite so far.
Yeah, Tim Delisle, veteran of the Formula 3.5 series, extremely experienced in these cars. Not surprising at all to see him up there. James Pinsker and Ed Samborski sitting second and fourth. Eddie was telling us last week that this is probably his least favorite track, so he's just looking for a top 5 here today. Maybe he said he was looking for a top 5, but he wouldn't be surprised we see him in 6th place here today. So, you know, Samborski is just looking at this as his bye week and just going to try to enjoy it, take what comes to him out there today. James Pinsker, though, P2, extremely fast around here. 2/10 down on Tim Delisle, though.
Yes, and 2 times around Silverstone could mean anything as well, and sometimes some of these drivers prefer to win rather be second. But for James, I think you'll be happy in second position as Tim Delisle has a purple final set, and that puts him fastest by about a tenth of a second, a 140.720. James Pinsker is very, very close. So is Greg Olsen as well. He just improved his time to a 140.94. Tim Delisle is not going again. I think a majority of people are not going again because they only have a couple of laps, of course. Most people have improved on their final runs, but I think we're just waiting for a few more. Pizzica in 4th position beats Sambrowski's time. He cannot improve, so by 2 tenths. So nice to see him up there, the Italian as well. We got Ben Holko as well, who came across the line in 7th, and who are running on board with now John Owens. He 14 for him, who's improved to 142.347. Dennis Cornu propped his car into P7 at 141.947. We got Dennis Bertram in 9th position at the moment. We'll see if he can find some time. His first sector hasn't been that great, but his other sectors have been absolutely fantastic. He heads towards Stowe Corner. Be careful to not run too wide to the left, because otherwise you're going to be in a lot of trouble.
That's where he needs to be, right here.
He needs to be there. This is very, very crucial as we head towards Van and into Club now. Final corner he goes. Can he be the person to get out of 9th spot and go even higher? No, he does not. I think he stays in 9th position, but he improved on this time though, Austin.
Yeah, he did improve. He found the time that he left out there, but unfortunately not enough to improve his spot. Tim Delisle will be starting up on pole ahead of James J. Pinsker. That is our front row. Then it's followed by Greg Olsen and Simone Pizzica, Edward Samborski, Jason Sieg, Dennis Cornu, Ben Holko, Dennis Furkheim, Marcos Alecron, Jason Enrique, and Dylan Fruckleton in 12th place. They're followed by Patrick Letivet, JV Byrne, John Owens, Mark Ponick, Cal Young, James Burns, and at the end of our grid, Miguel Crespo at the end of our 19-car grid here at Silverstone for the iRacing Formula 3.5 Championship here on Apex Racing TV. Well, they're all getting ready to line up, get ready to go. Are we going to be seeing any crazy moves into turn 1, or are we just waiting for the arena?
Well, I don't know. I think the main issue, for these drivers is in particular turn 3 as well, the heavy braking zone now. I think we could probably see some moves to try and get into the slow corner before the Wellington straight as well. So I think we could see that as well. But turn 1 and going past the Hamilton straight is very, very high speed. And even if one sudden wheel movement goes wrong, the drivers are going to be in a bit of an issue. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube, Apex Racing TV. Turn that notification bell icon to be notified when we go live. And also, click that like button as well. And also follow us on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. All those usernames are just Apex Racing TV. And now, Austin, we're about to get ready for the start. The 5 red lights are coming on very, very soon. The drivers are almost ready to be gridded up. Let's get started and get the show on the road.
Let's get ready to rumble. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and it's green, green, green here at Silverstone. It's a great start from Greg Olsen in 3rd place. Gets a big jump, but there's an amazing crash right behind him. Carnage happening. Car spun out. We got in. turn 1, and it's chaos. Look around the outside. Also sending around Pinsker. He's going to try and take the lead, and he jumps Pinsker around the outside, and he's right on the gearbox of his teammate of Tim Delisle, and through Arena with a car around. We got more carnage behind him. It's Owens and Letovet. Owens and Letovet make contact. Burns is around as well.
There was a few people that crashed. Jason Sick unfortunately crashed. Miguel Crespo has unfortunately crashed, and also Dennis Cornu, Freckleton, Aracon, Latruve, Owens, Pornick, Cal Young. Loads of people crashed as well, and unfortunately Jason Sick is gone into the pit. I believe he was towed as well. But Tim Delisle is holding on to his lead, but Greg Olsen had an amazing start. He's up into second place already. Good for the Positive Sim Racing team, a 1 and 2 for them right now, as we're seeing more side-by-side action with Lutreve and Crespo as well. Some great action going on at the moment, but the ones that crashed, they're definitely on the back foot, but good to see some of them still on the track, giving it their all at the moment. Tim Delisle leads, and it's a Positive Sim Racing 1-2.
Yeah, beautiful start by Greg Olsen. Did everything perfectly right there. Tim Delisle kept James Pinsker right there. Pinsker, oh, we got crashed right here. 3 cars involved. They're all off the track. Furkheim, Alicron, and Holko involved.
And I think James Byrne again. I'm not entirely sure. Oh, they've got to be careful with that safe rejoin.
Yeah, and there goes Ben Holko back into the pit lane, followed by Letovet after that chaotic first lap. And we still got action out here. Simone Pizzica, we usually see Pizzica try to go for a few moves here. Pizzica hasn't done anything. He's actually, he's just stayed in 4th place behind James A. Pinsker. That'll be right on board right now. James looking down to the inside. This is just James being James. He's just playing it safe. He likes to look down the inside and just play it safe in the early laps. Don't want to get a little bit too risky. And he just stays up on the inside, gets out of the draft, and continues his race and studies the car in front of him. Because, you know, he's got Tim Delisle right in front of him. He's got Simone Pizzica right behind him. And Greg Olsen's there as well, and he's just filling the mirrors.
Yeah, he is, and I think he's learned his lesson from last season, because there was a few races where he went for the move straight away, and then he was involved in crashes, and I think James always picks the right moments. I think this season he's been a little bit more consistent with his races and knows that he can push towards the end, but be more cautious towards the start. And even though he pushes at the start anyway, it's a little bit less than what he usually does. So great to see him still in 3rd position. But right now, we are on board with Dylan Freckleton, who is being chased by Mark Pornick at the background as well. And we also got some battles with Miguel Crespo, and this is going to be quite tense indeed as they head towards Stowe Corner. Like we said earlier, Austin, a brilliant overtaking opportunity. 3 cars, we could see 4 cars if any one of those drivers make a mistake. They're just holding their line here as well, and just past Abby into farm curve coming up soon, as I think Pinsker is catching on Greg Olsen. See on the back heading towards the Wellington Straight. Simon is keeping company as well on the back of Eddie Sambrowski chasing as well. James Pinsker looks like he was going to have a look there, but decided not to. And all of this is allowing the train to go growing and growing, so this is getting very exciting.
Yeah, Tim Delisle pulling away. Greg Olsen knocking back, and it's, well, a little bit more of a gap is pulling away right here, but Tim Delisle is, letting Greg Olsen defend for him here in Silverstone. And look at them just absolutely not care about the track limits here.
Yes, I mean, Silverstone is a track where you can't really get away with it, but there's some way you can extend a little bit and get away with it in the game as well, but you've got to be careful not to pick up any off-track points or any instant points, because it can all add up in this series and in the races, and you definitely do not want to be the one that gets the most overall, because it could lead to consequences. Silverstone is quite easy for people to go off track like that, especially around here heading towards Stowe. In other games, I always go wide there, and I usually tend to either get penalties or invalidate my laps there. It's just not nice at all. But people are managing it all right. in iRacing at the moment, as Tim Delau is saying the time screens are light again. 142.700. And Greg Olsen, the teamwork that the Positive Sim Racing boys are doing at the moment is second to none. But we are seeing a battle between Dennis Cornu and Jason Enrique, who's had a brilliant start, up 4 places. Going into this low-speed corner before they head in the high-speed corner into the Wellington Straight. Don't forget, 70% of the lap can be taken at full throttle. Yep, you can see in this mirror as well, huge respect from these drivers. And now heading in towards Brooklands. They're still going to go side by side, I think, as well. Now heading into Lovefield Corner as well. One of the corners that I absolutely struggle on any game, but they're still keeping on the road. One of the cars is almost on the gravel track, but they go back on the track into Woodcote now. And surely this is not going to be a move heading into Cobb's Corner. Surely not, but I think Dennis Cornu decides to back off as Dylan Freckleton has dropped a few positions. He's down into 9th place.
It's behind him. This is Freckleton and Ponick. Mark Ponick and Freckleton, they're having their own scrap right there as they head through Magus Beckett's and Chapel right now. But what a fight we're seeing out here. We also got another fight side by side. Nose tail, that was Alecron and Young, I believe. This is Ed Samborski. He's at the tail end of our top 5 right here. And ahead it's Pizza Cup, Pizza, Olsen, and Delisle. And Delisle is really just putting on a clinic right here. Greg Olsen and James Peensker, well, they're locked nose tail, but neither of them are really battling each other. And then Smo Pizza ahead of Samborski. And Pizza heading through that final corner actually nipped the outside curbing. That outside sausage curb, and his car got a little bit upset, so that's allowed Samborski to catch up to him. And if Pizzica gets the opportunity to catch up to Olsen and Peensker, and Freckleton looked down the inside right there. Mark Ponick almost had the opportunity to really send one down the inside, but it wasn't there for him. Up ahead, we got Enrique and Cornu almost about to do another fight in this exact same section of track, but this time Enrique is still staying ahead of him.
Yes, Jason, I think, is having a much better race compared to last week, of course, because there's some tracks that you do not like. Motegi, not really a place where you can overtake much, whereas Silverstone, completely opposite, and there's more chances to overtake. And drivers could take a little bit more risk as well. That's probably why we've seen a few spins already in turn 1, because they're really pushing into the limit already. Then look at this, heading in towards the Hangar Straight. This is where you gain the most speed, most top line speed, and the most downforce as well as they head towards Stowe. Dennis could go for a look around Stowe, but he does not. He's a little bit too further back to Jason, but this battle can go on and on until the end of this race, which we're only on heading in towards lap 6 now, so anything can happen with the short amount of time that we have as well. Pinsker is closing a little bit on Greg Olsen. He's just at the fastest lap of the race so far.
Yeah, Olsen's just 1/10 faster though. Both those cars set their new personal fastest lap, and we got a replay of the start. Look at what happened to Jason Singh. That 10 comes off the line, and I'm not sure what happened there. He got off the line perfectly fine, and then the car just stopped rolling. He pulled off to the left. I think he might have accidentally enabled launch control, and the car just stalled out right there, but I am not sure because the car got off the line and then it just stopped, so we might have had a hardware issue. It just got absolutely slammed in the background. That's our second start line issue where a car went up into the air, though Alessandro Dalladone still holds the record for most heights gained off the line.
Yes, I think he said in the chat about what has happened to him. So it was computer-related, he thought, and 4 was 100%. My chat just actually disappeared then. Come on, tablet. Yeah, 4 was 100% after green, no wheel spin, and car was not accelerating. So a bit unfortunate. Sometimes mechanical issues with computer can translate to obviously things breaking car-wise in real life as well, which is not good. especially at the start of the race. So that's why he's one of the 2 retirements out of the race at the moment. And look at Eddie's concentration. Once again, he's currently 5th, but still within a good shot of getting a podium, and he is chasing down Simon for 4th place.
Yeah, James Painter up in 3rd place. We need to keep our eyes on James because he sometimes gets an amazing run out of nowhere, just sends a move, but he's still behind Greg Olson as Simone Pizia is pretty much being left out in no man's land. Sam Borski and Simone Pizia, both of them have had a little bit of a rocky relationship between these two. You can see Simone Pizia already diving down to the inside, trying to break that draft with Everett Samborski. But we are 1/3 of the way through this race. We're going to start seeing James Pinsker get a little bit more aggressive right now.
Yeah, he is as well. He was a bit cautious at the beginning, but now as the race is starting to unfold a bit more, he can really put the hammer down. And as Lewis Hamilton said, it is hammer time for Mr. Pinsker. He surely wants to make sure that he gets an advantage over Eddie Sambrowski more than ever. I know he's ahead of him now, but the more positions he's ahead of him, for him, the better as well. And for Eddie's perspective, he doesn't want to see James Pinsker in front. He wants to try and get past the likes of Simon as well. So this could be an interesting fight. This is going to be a 4-way fight, as it were, as well. So don't forget, we've got Greg Olson in this as well, and Tim Delisle just finding his merry way in the lead as well. This is probably the most cars I've ever seen for the battle for the lead and for the podium I've seen in a long time. And I think Mr. Pinsker is going to see what he can do, but I do know the 2 positive boys will be working together to make sure James does not get this race victory, as they now passed, I believe, the Hamilton Straight. And as it's a new name, it's just going to go for the move for Abby.
Not so and I bought that one. I bought that one hook, line, and sinker.
Indeed, and I think James could go for a look here. He's ever so close to Greg Olson at the moment, within about 2 or 3 tenths. This could be the straight line speed he's looking for. I think he's going to back out, unfortunately. But he could still go side by side if he wants to, but like we said, dirty air, not a good thing. It's not much of a fact compared to F1, but still, if you get caught in that, not ideal, as James backs off a little bit there.
Yeah, James, he's back to his old ways, staying out of the draft and filling up the mirrors. He still feels like there is a little bit more ground to gain. And just...
And I think we're still seeing more side-by-side battles happening as well between Dylan as well and maybe John Owens as well. But looks like James, he's getting closer than ever as well. And I think Greg Olson's catching up to Tim Delisle as well, as the sun is beaming down here at Silverstone at this stage. And I think all of this could allow Simon to close in as well. So these 3 have definitely got to get a move on as well. Once more hint of mistakes could lead to disaster, and we do not want to see that as well. We also got Jason Enrique and Dennis Cornu having a bit of a fight for P6 right now. So I wonder how that's going to turn out. I think Dennis has been looking quicker the last few laps. Not many people setting personal best at the moment, but Dennis Cornu is absolutely flying right now. James Pinsker's been pushing in the first few corners of this lap, so this could be the move he's looking for right now. So we've already done 15 minutes of this race, and still plenty more action still to go. James again doesn't get past, but I think we can see more action further behind.
Yeah, we got a few fights happening behind him. We got a good battle for 7th place between Mark Ponick and Dennis Cornu, as we continue to ride on board with James Pinsker, looking at Greg Olson. And well, James is just studying Olson right now. He knows Olson still has the draft of Delisle up ahead, so he's still getting a little bit of a tow from Tim Delisle. And when he gets out of that tow, I'm expecting James to really strike there, because Olson will be left, in a boat without a paddle, pretty much, as we got a good fight right here. Henrique and Cornu, the fight for 6th place. You can see them as they head through head through the S's right now and down the straight. Watch out for Cornu, but Henrique taking that exit extremely tight already on the left-hand side of the track. And Dennis unable to close that gap down that straight.
He is not, which is a bit unfortunate for him, but I think he's still got a few more opportunities to do so as well. But the laps are running out, so... But I wonder if you want to be the one that is attacking or the one that's defending. At the moment, I don't know, it's hard to tell, but you would rather be the one that's defending because you have the track position, and with all the, obviously, the trains that are growing as well, that could really benefit you as well. Tim Delisle almost a second clear of his teammate Greg Olsen at the moment. We're watching Simon and Eddie's times compare at this moment, and Eddie is just getting a bit quicker as we speak, but Simon just has a little bit more consistency. As you can see, the gap between themselves is about 1.3 seconds, so Simon is really coming to his own at this race as well and showing that he's still a huge threat in potentially in this championship to possibly get some good points overall in this Formula 3.5 championship as well. But James is chasing once more. Again, all this battling is allowing Tim Delisle to say thank you very much. You two keep battling. I'll just increase my gap for the lead. How about that?
Yeah, Tim Delisle is just doing Tim Delisle things right now, staying in the lead and stretching that lead out. But Olsen is getting some of that draft and is carrying Pacer right behind him. So the top three really staying in a procession right here. But I gotta circle back to what you said last lap, where you said you would like to be the one leading in a fight. I would like to be the one behind heading into the last lap and trying to force a mistake out of the driver in front. I know it's not the most exciting to staying behind somebody, but if you constantly stay behind them, filling their mirrors, you're going to be making sure that they're more aware of where you're going. And you know, I have seen a lot more guys spin out for me defending, for me trying to attack them, than them, well, spinning out trying to make a move on me. But then again, I don't even touch them. I just have a little fun with them just by looking down the inside. But anyway, besides my shady overtaking tactics, this is looking all right.
Yeah, exactly. But to be honest, in some tracks I like to be the one behind as well. But if there's tracks you can't overtake, obviously there is an option there. But I think we're seeing some more moves being made, and it looks like this was brilliant. Enrique is giving it his all right now on Dennis Cornu. He knows he's fighting back as well. The American versus the Frenchman as well. Two of the Titans fighting with each other. I did say earlier on in a few laps ago to keep an eye on them, and these two, apart from the battle for the lead, are the ones to watch out for. And obviously we got the likes of Dylan Freckleton, John Owens, Jamie Byrne is back in this race as well, which is great to see despite his issues earlier on. And we got Miguel Crespo as well that is fighting the likes of Carl Young. But there's a few people in no man's land, but there's still plenty of opportunities to increase your potential and try and gain as many positions as you can. But like we said earlier, two drivers out of this race, but still plenty of drivers in this race. And look at the speed Dennis Cornu is gaining. I wonder if Dennis Cornu is going to set a personal best here.
Dennis is really flying right now. He's been locked in that draft, as it is Henrique still ahead of him as down the Hamilton straight they go. It's not a faster lap for Cornu, as Henrique had a much more solid lap, but they're still locked in that nose-to-tail fight right now, as both of them are still in the fight. Look at this fight right now. James J. Pinsker looking out to the inside. Here it comes, the fight for second, down low, and Pinsker up into P2.
There we go. Pinsker was waiting to do that move all race, and he finally did it as well. Pinsker, 142.6. He knows that Greg Olsen was faster, but if you can't make that move stick, even if you're the faster car, then that's probably not helped you a little bit. And will that James Pinsker in second place allow him to set even faster lap times and catch up to Tim Delisle, who is leading at the moment? Gap now is 5/10 of a second, and look at this. James Pinsker is on a flyer and is pushing Tim DeLisle. He's one of the fastest guys on track at the moment, and this is where the James Pinsker we know is starting to come alive. He's got a few podiums this season, he's got a few wins. He wants to add another win to his total of Formula 3.5 overall, and surely he would want to win his home race and stop the Aussies from doing so, I have to say.
Well, I'm pretty sure that the Aussies would like to have a win at Silverstone as much as James J. Pinsker would like to have a win here. New fastest lap, James J. Pinsker, half a second gap to him and DeLisle. Pinsker has been shot out of a cannon right now as we enter lap 13. And oh boy, we got ourselves a race for the lead. DeLisle, Pinsker, and Olsen right behind him, 1, 2, and 3. And, you know, Tim DeLisle, he's going to have to get a little bit weird because James is on a charge. He's actually off in the grass right there, using all the track on the straight to get the better turn in. And look at that. He is still closing in through the corners.
Yeah, I'm still impressed on how he's pushing right now. Maybe he was saving a bit more of his pace until now, and so he could afford to do so with the low fuel he has. And the less fuel that you have, the more that you can really push as well. So maybe this is a tactic that James was looking for, and it's working brilliantly for him so far. Now the gap is almost 2 tenths as we head towards the Maggots, Begets and Chapel section, one of the iconic corners of the racetrack. Now the other iconic corner of the racetrack, Hangers straight right now. James lost a bit of time through this straight, but that means he's not going to get the move into Stowe. But all 3 of them are still in close knit. Anything can happen between these 3. Greg also could still get past Pinsker. Maybe it is his turn in the next few laps to save a bit of...
away.
He is falling away, but maybe he's saving his pace. Maybe he's saving a bit of time until the end of the race, maybe, where James is pushing now, but Greg will potentially could be pushing later on. As long as he stays within these 3, then Greg has probably saved enough in order to be pushing at the end. And look how close Pinsker is. If he gets this move done now, this will be golden for him. But Tim DeLisle knows that he wants his race victory so badly. But James wanted this win so badly as well. Tim DeLisle and Pinsker. Tim DeLisle closes the door, and his defensive work is second to none. It's Tim DeLisle. He's kept the race lead since the very start. And Tim may not want James Pinsker to go side by side, but James could have another look there as well. And it's going to be hard to go into Cox corner. He's going to sneak on the inside. A very late lunge, but decides to back out of it.
That is an absolutely big opportunity for James Pinsker. He didn't want to have a almost similar incident to another open wheel race in that exact same corner that we're not going to talk about, as Greg Olsen goes a bit wide coming out of Chapel. And it looks like he's going to be out of this fight as well. But it's Pinsker and DeLisle. James Pinsker still snaking around. And he's now studying Tim DeLisle. He's getting into his head. He loves doing that little snake move on the straight when behind somebody, because he's being pulled along by their draft, but he doesn't want to be all the way up in that draft. He still wants a little bit of wiggle room right there. And remember, he's been behind in dirty air since the start of this race. His tires are much more worn than Tim DeLisle, so if he needs to make a move, he needs to do it very soon.
Yep, he does, and it is going to be a 2-horse race, but we can start to see Greg Olsen starting to catch up a little bit more, so he's got to forget about that mistake now and concentrate on the remaining laps coming up. We do not have long to go until the end of this British Grand Prix in the Formula 3.5 Championship, and James still has the opportunity to go for the moves that he's looking for, but he's not going to do it right now. Make sure you do check our sponsors, SDK Gaming, who are providing live timings as we speak, and also the overlays which sync up our broadcasting cameras as well. You can have a 14-day free trial, and if you like it so much, you can have a monthly subscription as well to try it for your iRacing league as well. Highly recommend it as well. And also, Massive shout out to our other sponsors, Virtual Racing School, who provide data packs for majority of tracks and cars as well for you to check out. And also the other sponsor do the same, Apex Racing Academy as well. So thank you to all our free sponsors. Without them, this league wouldn't be as successful as it is.
Yeah, Apex Racing Academy, I highly stand behind, as they've improved by driving tenfold. And they also have one of the best setup tools I've ever used, the iRacing Setup Sync, where you hop in your car and boom, there's the setup. You don't have to go through folders or anything. You just hop in the car and boom, there it is.
Cool.
And yeah, it's the best one out there.
I might give that a go actually when I do some racing, if I ever get round to it, because I've been wanting to get back in iRacing for so long, and after seeing these cars today in Silverstone, I just want to drive the Silverstone track around here. It's just so good. It's not good on the other games, but in iRacing it just feels so nice to drive. Obviously I wouldn't be as good as these drivers because they're the top of their game. The strength of the field tonight is incredible, and this could be the move. This could be the move, but Tim Dillard again closed the door. He saw James Pinsker in this mirrors, and it's about awareness now in these last few laps. If you could see where James Pinsker is going and the awareness there, then that's pure skill right now. So Tim Delisle is doing all he can to hold on to the race win. He's running out of laps though, but you never know what could happen. Let us know in the chat who do you think is going to win. Is it going to be Tim Delisle or is it going to be James J. Pinsker?
You know, it's up in the air right now. If we're going by licenses, I would say Pinsker. If we're going by iRating, I would say Delisle. If we're going by experience, I would have to say both of them right now, because both of these two are Formula 3.5 championship winners. Tim Delisle, a legend of the series. James Pinsker has been on a roll recently, and he just knows on how to get up there. So they're nose to tail right now. We got a few more laps left here at Silverstone. The fight between them is going to be absolutely beautiful to the end and very respectful. So it's not going to be a bad blood fight. It's not going to be all about aggressiveness. This is going to be a very silky smooth fight between these two. But I'm seeing a lot more Pinsker than Tim Delisle's. I believe we should be having a poll put up there on YouTube very shortly.
Yes, you can get your votes in as well. I think if the drivers are not having like maybe engineers as well, then probably I wouldn't want to know what's happening in the chat right now, because it'll go crazy. You want to be focusing on one thing and one thing only, and that is to win at this moment in time. Look at this, James Pinsker's even closer than ever. This is going to be the move that he's looking for. Into Brooklands. This could be the race lead, but the switchback for Tim Delisle almost going off the track almost as well. The better run going to James Pinsker, but the better run here into Woodcote could go to Tim Delisle. I think James Pinsker is going to take the lead for Tim Delisle, but Tim Delisle could get the move towards Cops. He's going to have a last late lunge. Pinsker couldn't do it. But could Tim Delisle do it? Nope, he could not. James Pinsker takes the lead for now, but Tim Delisle could have another look soon. This is sensational.
With a few laps remaining, round one goes to James Pinsker, but Tim Delisle is nipping at his heels, and Tim Delisle does not know when to give up, and he does not really have that word in his vocabulary right now. James Pinsker with DRS, and Tim Delisle also has DRS open on right now, as they're both trying to catch up to each other down that long back straight. But Tim Delisle was caught out just in the same way that Greg Olson was caught out, down the inside, and James Pinsker takes the lead.
Yes, and I think we're going to see how Mr. Pinsker did it as well. The battle just went on for so long as well, and he made it stick into Cop's corner. So here he is, Wellington straight. He goes for the move nice and early down through Brooklands, now into left field. And we thought he was going to make the move stick there, but Tim Delisle was just not giving up without a fight, isn't he? He was going to try and go side by side into Woodcote, but he couldn't quite do it. And I think this was just the stars of the show right now. These two, they're the tops of their own right now, and I think Tim Delisle's going to do exactly the same thing. No, he's not. James Pinsker with a better grip right now compared to Tim Delisle, but there's not long to go. I think this could go down to the wire. Could we see a photo finish? I really do hope so.
You know, I've seen a few photo finishes here on iRacing in my time during commentary from a lot of IndyCar races to some NASCAR races, and Formula 3.5 has had some close calls as well. I have never seen a photo finish around Silverstone, so hey, I'm all for it. It's going to be a grand finish between these two. We got around 3 laps remaining here at Silverstone. Pinsker, Delisle, half a second separates them here, and Delisle is having to use DRS to claw his way back up to James Pinsker. Does James have enough DRS saved up? And oh! Slides
Delisle spun!
Delisle sliding his car, and that is it for Tim Delisle. He's kept his car going. He's in second place now, but those tires are extremely overheated. Too much moisture into the corner. And Tim Delisle, well, he's 2 seconds behind James J. Pinsker, and well, that is extremely unfortunate. And Pinsker has enabled DRS. He's going to try to extend that gap to Tim Delisle, but that is what you don't want to see. Knife meets heart right there to Tim Delisle. He's still in the race, but that is just so unfortunate when that happens to you and you know that you had the opportunity to go for the win.
That's heartbreaking, I think, for Tim Delisle there, and I think just one small mistake could cost you, and I kind of wanted him to go down to the end, but I shouldn't have said about photo finishes, and then look what happened. And you know, Tim Delisle, he had it in the bag pretty much as well, but you know, he's now got Greg Olsen in charge for second place now, and what would you do if I was Tim Delisle? Would you let him through, or would you fight for it? Because you don't want to get involved in other incidents as well, and we're not that long to go. You don't want to lose out on too many points, but this is an icing on the cake for Pinsker. He started, I think, 3rd in the race, and I think he's never won the race from pole position, I don't think. He's always won the race from like low down the grid, so maybe that's why he continued. Yep, he started 2nd actually, not 3rd.
He finished the first lap in 3rd after that. Well, actually, he finished. He came out of the first corner in 3rd.
Yeah, Greg Olsen had a good start, and he got past Pinsker, and that's what happened. So, not the best start actually from Pinsker, but again, it's not how you start, it's how you finish, and that's what Pinsker is proving. And Tim Delisle is starting to catch up again, so you never know. But I think we're running out of laps, so I don't think
2 laps remaining.
No, it's not going to happen. But we got another battle in our hand at the moment. It's between Dennis Cornu and Jason Henrique. Once again, these two, I think they've been fine for the whole race, but Henrique is be the one that's ahead.
Yeah, Henrique, we saw his move on Cornu after a massive side-by-side battle through Woodcott as they go onto the arena. And again, Henrique going very defensive. Here comes Cornu. Dennis trying to hold it around to the outside of the braking zone. There's very loose off the exit. He's got that tire to land right now. Henrique going wide. They're both leaving each other's space. Right now it's going to be a drag race down the straight once again. Cornu gets the lead right now, but here comes Henrique. Henrique all up in that draft. Henrique looking down low. It's side by side heading into Brooklyn right now. And now it's Henrique down to the inside. Cornu onto the outside. Now Cornu's onto the inside. Henrique stuck onto the outside. They're still side by side. They're almost making wheels off the exit. They're still going to be side by side. And Henrique around the outside managed to take back 6th place. With 2 laps to go, down the old start-finish straight they go. Dennis trying to hold it around to the outside right here, trying to stay as close to Henrique as he can. He's riding on that gearbox, flicks out to the right side. They are going to go side by side through the S's. Hold on to your hats. What is going on right here? Absolutely tight fight between these two. A little bit of wheel for Dennis Cornu as they get back onto that back straight. And I think they can have a little bit of a breathe right now as it's white flag for James J. Pinsker.
There we go, and he sets the fastest lap to boot as well. He's just saying, boom, I'm in the lead, and I want to get the fast lap as well. Get the double at the moment, but there's still plenty of opportunities for other people to make some ground as well. It's not over until it's over, and points mean anything as these two head towards the Hamilton straight for the penultimate time, and for the final time they would hope that one of them will come out in front. We may not see a photo finish for the top 2. We could see it between Jason and Dennis, but it looks like Jason is a little bit more comfortable out there. We just saw Mark Bonnet And the Canadian setting the fastest lap of, well, his personal best so far. So is Dylan Freckleton and also John Owens as well. And I think the rest of the order has not changed since I've been midway through the race as well. Hope you enjoyed the race so far. Make sure you do leave a like on this video and hit that notification bell if you haven't already. And click that subscribe button as well so you know when to check out our stream. We're about to approach the end of the race, and I'm sure that there's going to be one happy, smiley British person that's going to be on the top set of the podium at the end of it. And we've got Tim Delisle as well and Greg Olsen for company, who they've shared podiums before. But Austin, we still got these two fighting as well, but James Pinsker is just passing Stone out and about to finish this race.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful race for James J. Pinsker. He started off in second place, fell to third, and he's climbed his way back up to first to take the checker flag and the victory here at his home race at Silverstone. He's followed by Delisle and Greg Olsen, Positive Sim Racing 2-3. Simone Pizzica comes home in fourth, and Ed Samborski finishes a surprise top 5 at a track he hates.
To be honest, I think he'll take that. I think he'll take that, even though he wanted more. And I'm sure there's some other tracks as well he would prefer instead of Silverstone. So not bad for him at all. Jason Enrique finished 6th. Dennis Cornu 7th. Mark Ponick in 9th. 8th, sorry. Dylan Freckleton in 9th. And John Owens in 10th. I have to say, Mark Ponick fell under the radar a little bit, but he's gained 8 positions from his starting position. So I have to say, a good race from him. I think he started 16th, so brilliant climb through the field there, and it looked like James was going to do a bit of donuts there. Is he going to do some donuts? There he goes, celebrating his own win in style. I was hoping he'll do donuts if he won his own Grand Prix, and he did. There we go.
All wins should be celebrated. I'm pretty sure he was just waiting for everybody else to come across the line so I can do that without penalty right there. And, you know, James A. Pinsker burns it down here at Silverstone. Not often I could do that on a European broadcast.
I like that reference. I really, really do. You should say that more often.
I need more people to burn down the tires more often.
Oh, yeah, that is a good point. We want to see more donuts from winners.
Mandatory, you know, iRacing should put in a new rule. Mandatory donuts at the end after you win a race, no matter what series it is, unless you crash the car or anything. But mandatory donuts should always be a thing, just always.
I think everybody has finished now. Yes, everyone has finished. So before we interview our podium sitters, let's have a look of who shone tonight. So James J. Pinsker is your race winner. Tim Delisle P2, Greg Olsen 3rd, Simon Pizzica in 4th, Edward Samborski in 5th, Jason 6th, Cornu 7th, Mark Ponick 8th, Dylan Freckleton in 9th, John Owens in 10th, and we got Jamie Byrne in 11th, Cal Young in 12th, Miguel Crespo in 13th, Ben Holko in 14th, Marcus Aragon in 15th, Dennis Ferdheim in 16th, and Patrick Letreve in 17th. They were the only ones on the lead lap. And we have 2 retirements of James Arburn and Jason Sake. They were involved in a lap 1 incident, unfortunately. But shall we get our podium interviewers in? Shall we?
Well, yeah, they're standing by with us right now as we are standing by with our race winner, James J. Pinsker. James, how was that race? You came out of turn 1 in 3rd place after a great start by Greg Olsen, but then you just slowly made your way up the grid and then into the lead. How are you feeling after that, and how was that race?
Let's go. I'm really pumped. That was a brilliant one. Love that. Great track here, great car track combo, and I think I drove pretty well from the start. I saw. I don't know if it was actually team tactics or not, because you know Tim and Greg are mates and teammates. But I was behind Tim into turn 3, and he's braked about 30 meters early, which has allowed Greg on the outside. I don't know if that was just cautious on lap 1 or if that's, you know, like teamwork. Either way, it doesn't matter, because I knew those guys. We're going to put up a good fight. behind Greg. I think I was a bit quicker than him, but it was hard to overtake because he was, again, just sat in the slipstream of Tim at about 9/10. And that few Ks that he was getting was making it really hard to actually properly set something up. But I was just a little bit closer out of turn 4 than I was before, so opened the DRS, held DRS flat through turn 5 midway through the race, which I thought was pretty impressive. And then down the inside, didn't fight it too hard. And then it was getting back onto the back of Tim. And he was pretty quick. I think we were very similar pace. But I got through in the same corner as I got through on Greg, and he put up a couple more attacks, but then he had a mistake or something happened at Stowe, so he dropped a couple of seconds, and from there, no looking back. And I'm really happy to win this one, so let's go.
Let's go indeed. A fantastic race. You pretty much nailed all the talking points on the head right there, so we're going to let this one be a little short and sweet for you. James, congrats on the victory. Before we let you go, anyone you want to thank?
Obviously a shout out to ARTV for streaming the race. Been doing these for now, pretty much 2 years. And this is my 7th win, so I'm happy to finally get that. And congrats to Tim and Greg as well, 2nd and 3rd. They put up a good fight. I guess it just wasn't quite good enough today. So, But I mean, when I first came into this series, these guys were 2 seconds a lap quicker than me. So the fact that we can have such a good race now these days is nice. And what track is it next week? I can't remember.
I believe the next track we are racing at is going to be Hockenheim.
Ooh, okay. So I'm not great at Hockenheim
right here. Then just accept it.
It's a great track for Ed, so he'll be swinging back. So, but I'll be there and I'll try and put on a fight. So let's see. I'll see you guys next week.
At least he's not the outer layout, yes.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, that's Slipstream Fest. But yeah.
All right. Well, standing by. Thank you, James. And standing by with Jessica is Tim Delisle.
There we go. As we're waiting for Tim to join it. As he was just brought in. Oh, there we go. We had technical difficulties trying to bring him in, but he was in as well. Valiant fight between yourself, Tim and Pinsker, but you made a mistake at Stowe, which ruined that, unfortunately. Tell us what happened to ruin that.
Yeah, first of all, congrats to James. He drove a perfect race pretty much, and once he passed me, because I'd been in clean air all race, I suddenly had to adjust to the dirty air. And I don't know if you saw, like, the first time I followed him through Stowe, I just went miles wide. So there was an adjustment period there, and then I started feeling like I could stick close to him, close enough that I could possibly try to pass him back. But yeah, just once again, I've done it a few times lately, just a case of going in too hot and ambition over adhesion, as Martin Brundle would say.
A bit of a shame there, but I can't put into words on how great the battle was between yourselves and Pinsker throughout the entirety of the race, and especially the few laps before you had that incident. So you just got your elbows out and you made sure Pinsker did not try and overtake you as well. And it was just great to see you both. Were you a bit nervous at that point that you were going to make a mistake before then? It was just both you guys showing pure respect there on the track.
Yeah, I wasn't so much nervous about making a mistake. I felt pretty good in the car this week. I mean, I ended up bottling it, but at the time, I wasn't focused on that too much. It was more just watching for his opportunities. He just seemed so much more confident through turns 3 and 4. He and Greg actually were always gaining on me through there. I don't know if I was losing time under braking or if I was maybe cooking the rears a bit in 3 and then that was making 4 slower for me. But whatever it was just like he was always gaining through there. And so, the focus was just on trying to keep it tidy and then going wheel to wheel, like trying to hang it around the outside so I could then get the inside line to Luffield. But I'll have to go back and watch it. I feel like we gave each other plenty of room. I might have been able to go a bit more aggressive. But either way, ultimately he was a little bit faster today, I think. So it's probably the fair result, but not the one I wanted.
I'm sure you'll bounce back in Hockenheim next week if you're racing there. But before we go, anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, just Greg, finishing P3. You know, P2 and 3, we wanted to win today, but it's still a great result for the team. Yeah, we had a pretty good set this week, I felt. So yeah, to get a result like that is really good. Yeah, you guys for the coverage. My girlfriend Amy for always putting up with me. We celebrated 5 years together this week, so that's 5 years of her dealing with me, practicing and bitching and whatnot. So yeah, and just you guys for the coverage. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Tim. Great effort from you today. Congratulations on your P2. And finally, I'm going to leave it over to Austin Knight to interview our P3 person, Greg Olsen.
Yeah, I'm standing by with Greg Olsen. Greg, how was that race? And let's talk about that start, that jump you got on James Pinsker and up into second place.
Yeah, it was a great race, but I didn't get the greatest of starts, I thought. My initial launch, I think, was okay, and then I think I got a bit greedy going into second gear, and I got a bit of wheel spin, so I revved out second or first gear a little bit. But no, it was a great start, and I was there was no like tactics with Tim or anything. Like I was really, really quick on the first lap for some reason, so I just sort of sent it, and it kind of worked out.
You certainly did send it off the line and up into second place, and then you just you had a great fight with James Pinsker. What's it like having James right behind you and his kind of tactics in your mirror on the straights?
Yeah, the tactics are interesting. But like I know he's a very good driver. Obviously, he's got a pro license and everything. But it was pretty obvious early on that he didn't want to get too close to me in the braking zones, I guess, to avoid dirty air. Like that's something pretty common that I think James does. And so I knew he just wanted me to concentrate on hanging with Tim and basically I think we were both just looking at the gap to Simone Pizzica and just waiting for that gap to open up. So eventually I stopped paying attention to his weaving down the straight to avoid the slipstream, but at the same time that's probably why I didn't defend, because I wasn't sure when he was actually going to decide to start attacking. So props to him. That was pretty good tactics, but look, it worked out really well.
It certainly did. It certainly was a good race with you and your teammate, Positive Sim Racing 2-3. It's not the 1-2 that you are used to seeing, but next week it is Hungaroring. Are we expecting you and Tim to be back out there on track?
It's Hockenheim, isn't it? But
yes.
I'm not sure about Tim. I know he really wanted to win this one, to be honest. I think Silverstone's his favorite track, so it's a shame with all the work he put in. It's a shame that he didn't get the win. I really felt that he deserved it, but I'll probably be there. I'm just barely hanging on to this championship with Ed and James, so I'll probably be there. So it should be interesting. It'll be my first time racing at Hockenheim.
All right. Well, it's certainly going to be a fun time out there on track. Before we let you go, Greg, anyone you want to thank?
Yeah, as a Positive Sim Racing, as always, the team. And as I said, especially Tim. He put in a lot of work, obviously his favorite track, but he did a lot of laps, tried to hone the setup. And it was really good, like I didn't get that much practice in the second half of the week. And whenever I stepped in just to warm up, it was immediately felt comfortable. And that's testament to the work he did. So big thanks to him, and also the rest of the team. Javier, Mir's come back, I believe, as well. So yeah, big thanks to them. Thanks to you guys for the broadcast as always, and to my wife Chow for her support.
And thank you for putting on a great show out there. Thank you everybody for joining us here on Apex Racing TV for the Formula 3.5 Championship here at Silverstone. I've been joined by Jessica Ball. We got Marco Bobanera up there in the production booth. And I'm Austin Knight. And I hope y'all have a good night.